Hey everyone, this is Joanne coming to you live from New York. I'm also known as #UnicornBoss. So as you guys are jumping online tonight, go ahead and hit me up with some unicorn emojis because those are my jam. If you're grabbing me live, go ahead and leave me a number 1. And if you're catching me on the replay, go ahead and leave me a number 2. So super excited tonight, you guys. It's Wednesday. So on Wednesdays on my page, I always do what I like to call Win It Wednesday. So it's just a quick little chit chat, and I usually put a post out on my page and I ask you guys to put on your keto questions. So I've got 4 or 5 questions here that you guys have logged for me throughout the day, and feel free to bring any questions that you have now, and if I have the opportunity to go back through and scroll through and answer any keto questions that you may have for your health journey, I'm definitely happy to do that. So I see a bunch of you guys jumping online. Welcome. If you're grabbing me live, go ahead and leave me a number 1, and if you're catching me on the replay, go ahead and leave me a number 2. By the way, if you're a brand new friend, don't forget to go ahead and comment new below so that way I can circle back around and connect with you. And if we're not friends yet, make sure you go ahead and send me a friend request and hit follow. And by the way, if you love my page, just take a quick moment now, click on my face. It will take you over to my page, and then from there you can click the follow button. I don't want you to miss out on all the fun things that we do here, and I am working to build my following, so I so appreciate your love and support with that. So welcome everybody. So this is Win It Wednesday. I always try to answer some of your keto questions and give you some keto tips and tricks. So if you guys have any keto questions for me, and if you're keto, go ahead and comment keto. Let me know how long you've been on the journey. Tell me how much weight you've lost so I can give you a big shout out. And go ahead and comment your questions and we'll see what we can do here. So let me say hi to people real quick and then we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm super excited to chit chat with you guys tonight. Hi Donna, Erica, Rochelle, who else we got? Dory, Nikki, Angel, welcome sister, how are you? Robin, all the way from Australia, thanks for jumping on, Robin. Hi Beth, hey Ann, thanks for the love, Erica. Yeah, this was one of the shirts that I got when I went to Comic-Con. I'm a huge Tokidoki fan, so yeah, all of the geek things. So Angel said she's keto almost 6 weeks and down 35 pounds. Wow, sending you so much love, sister. That is incredible. Really, really proud of you. Hey Christina, thanks for popping on. Thank you so much for the share, Donna. So by the way, if you guys love my page, if you have a lot of fun and you learn lots of things about keto, make sure you go ahead and give this video a quick share. I so appreciate your love and support. Hey Julie, I got all my best friends on tonight. This is awesome. Love seeing you guys. Thanks for the share, Ann. So, okay. Oh, and Christina shared me too. Oh, you guys are rock stars. I love you all. Dory says she's 6-month keto off and on. Whoa, 120 pounds. Make sure you guys send some hearts right now. Let's support Dory and give her some love. High five, sister. That is like completely inspirational. I'm just so blown away by your story. That's awesome. So great. Thanks for the share, Beth. So, all right. I'm just like so getting wrapped up in all the love. Let me go ahead and get started with the content because I know you guys, your time is valuable. So I've got 4 questions here that I thought were really good topics for our Win It Wednesday. So if you're brand new to me, welcome. My name's Joanne. I've been keto since almost a year, since November. I'm down about 60 pounds and I'm loving this lifestyle. And usually on Wednesdays on my page, I'll put a post out. You could always feel free to comment on that post. It's easy to find on my page. You can just search for Win It Wednesday. And I always will help to answer some of your keto questions that you have. So these are what came up on today's topic. So really excited to go over some of these with you. So first things first, I'm giving Andrea a shout out. She asked me, what can we do on keto to change the things up when we get tired of some of the same foods that we have over and over again? And what to do when you miss some of the things that you used to eat. She said sometimes we don't have time to cook keto breads or pancakes, and so she's bored and ready for some new things. So I thought that was a really great question, and it's kind of why I do what I do actually on my page here and why I have so much fun and I share my story. I only do quick and easy on my page. I actually started doing keto kitchens and sharing my story because I just felt very overwhelmed. I love to eat, but I hate cooking. So if you want to feel free to go ahead and comment and share. Tell me whether you love to cook or whether you don't love to cook. For me, cooking is not my forte. I am very overwhelmed in the kitchen. I find it to be a scary place. Now I'm finding a lot more confidence in it, and I'm starting to really love and enjoy the process and embrace it. But in the beginning for me, it was super difficult. And as I was starting to learn like what a macro was and what keto was and all of the things that's like so overwhelming in the beginning. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to learn to cook new too. Like I just was like so overwhelmed by, you know, keto and cooking and the kitchen and all of that. So yeah, I'm not confident in the kitchen, although I'm working on that, and I'm a lot better now. So I made sure when I first started my keto journey, I wanted to keep it quick and easy and simple. I was watching, at that time, there were not a lot of people cooking on Facebook. There's a lot more of that now, which is really exciting because you can really connect with somebody that really, you know, encourages you and just really meets your style, because we're all so different. That's what I love so much about, you know, the internet and network marketing and all that. So, so you can find somebody that you can really connect with. But back when I first started, there really wasn't a lot. And a lot of the recipes I was seeing on the internet were like really complicated, like stuffing chicken breasts and rolling them and putting pins everywhere. And I was just like, oh, I just worked a 12-hour day. Like I need something with like 4 ingredients because, you know, I'm not kitchen savvy, you know? So I see a few comments that some people love to cook. So Angel loves to cook, and so does Anne. So yeah, we all have like our different, you know, experiences. So if you follow my page or if you're brand new to me, I always do quick and easy on my page, 4 to 5 ingredients max. I try and keep it really simple. And do you guys want to know what my secret is for finding those great recipes? I'll wait like 10 seconds and see if I can get some participation. I've got a secret. It's probably very well known, but I am starting to get a lot of messages, and I'm finding people don't know this nifty little keto hack. So if you don't know, or if you just don't know in general, all of the things are on Pinterest, you guys. So yes, Julie got it right. That is my keto hack for, you know, if you're bored, if you're struggling, if you're finding recipes are too complicated, download your Pinterest app. Yes, I'm going to be completely white girl basic right now. No offense to anybody. Like I'm actually just teasing myself here, but you know, all of the things are on Pinterest. It's a magical tool. I find all of my unicorn things on there too. So you can use it for everything. Lots of inspiration, just fun facts in general. But yeah, I love Pinterest for finding brand new recipes. I can literally go in there after a long day, type in, you know, I usually take out a few different cooking options. So, you know, you might have some ground beef, you might have some chicken breast, whatever you have, sausage. Like the other day, I pulled out sausage and I was like, you know, keto recipes, sausage. And then it kind of limits the criteria, and I just start scrolling through and I'm like, that looks yummy, that looks yummy. And then you can save everything to an album. So I've got a Pinterest page with an album on it that's called Keto Recipes. So if you want to follow me, the link is on my page. I've got hundreds of recipes in there, and when I'm bored, I just go in there and I look for something yummy, and I make sure I only save things that are nice and easy for me. So yeah. Oh, thanks for the love, Angela. I appreciate it. So yeah, Pinterest makes it so much easier. Now, I will say with Pinterest, do be a little careful. Some of the recipes in there that they claim are keto are not really keto. So that could completely put a halt into your keto journey. I remember, I forget which recipe I was looking at one day, and it looked really yummy and good, and it was advertised as keto, and then I got in there and it had like brown sugar as one of the ingredients. I'm like, girl, you can't, sugar is not keto. Come on, people. So, you know, be careful. And if you're ever not sure, you can always feel free to send me a link and ask me. But yeah, so yeah, definitely check out Pinterest and make sure you're using that to the best, make it work for you and make it work for your lifestyle. So, and honestly, I'll tell you, I never make keto bread. Like in the beginning, I really missed it, but now that I haven't had it in so long, I really don't even miss bread at all. I did try some keto bread recipes, and for me, they just weren't successful. I just felt like they tasted eggy. So, you know, maybe on a Sunday, if I'm making like a keto, breakfast sandwich from home. Sometimes I'll do the mug bread and I'll toast it and I'll get it nice and buttery, and then you kind of can't tell that eggy consistency. So if anybody's got a great keto bread recipe and you want to share it here, feel free to go ahead and do that, because I know so many of you miss bread. So yeah. So hopefully that helped Andrea with her question and gave her some inspiration and ideas. So if you guys have tips outside of Pinterest that you use to get your recipes from, feel free to share it here as well. So Stacy asked me today, what's your favorite keto fat bomb? Hi, Amanda, welcome. So I hate to be like a complete disappointment. I kind of feel like silly saying this, but I actually, you guys, I don't eat fat bombs. I don't. And not to say that they're bad. I think they're completely wonderful and magical. I just, I don't know what it was for me. In the very beginning, I thought having that much coconut oil just kind of seemed gross to me. And I know it's amazing for you and it's so good for your healthy fat macros. So I can't say enough how good fat bombs are for you. And if you're embracing them, please continue with it. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I just couldn't seem to wrap myself around a fat bomb. And I've got hundreds of fat bomb recipes saved in my Pinterest actually, because they look so yummy. And I think they're a really great tool to have in your arsenal, especially for days when you get that nasty sugar craving, and we all know what that's like. Like some days I just come home and I'm like, I need a chocolate peanut butter cup. Like I need it. And I'm like, no, don't do it, you know? So if you have some fat bombs saved, you know, in a container in your fridge or maybe in a freezer that you could pull out and thaw, I think they're a super great tool to have in your arsenal. So thanks for the love, Natalie. Yeah, I'm a huge Tokidoki fan. So yeah, definitely play around with fat bombs. I think they're an amazing thing. I just haven't tinkered around with it so much. I have lots of recipes saved in Pinterest. So if you're looking for great inspirational ideas for fat bombs, definitely check out there. I want to definitely, you know, start experimenting with some. I actually bought some, you know, Lily's, you know, a sugar-free dark chocolate. I've got some unsweetened coconut shreds, you know, peanut butter and things like that that you can make into fat bombs. So all those types of things that are high in fat that are good for you. So but one thing I will say is with your fat bombs, please be careful. Having high fat is great for your fat macros. And by the way, before I forget, last week, I did a great video about how you can get healthy fats into your diet. So if you're struggling with getting those high fats in, feel free to go back and check out that video on my page. I personally get up over 100 grams of fat in my daily keto diet without fat bombs, without the struggle for it. So, you know, I personally don't need it for that reason. But if you are doing fat bombs, please be careful that you're not going overboard. I've heard some sad stories about people who eat the fat bombs. They make them and they're so delicious. You're compelled to eat 5 or 6 of them, and it can make you sick. Coconut oil, while it's amazing for your brain support and your brain function, and it's great for your healthy fat macros and just for your body in general, it can disrupt your digestive tract. So, you know, if you have 5 or 6 fat bombs, you could potentially be stuck in the bathroom for a little while. And that's, you know, that can happen. So try to limit your fat bombs to like 1 or 2. Don't go overboard, you know, because a lot of them do have like 15, 20 grams of fat in them. So if you're having that many, it's a little bit too much, okay? So hopefully I didn't disappoint you guys too much on having a favorite keto fat bomb, but maybe now that I'm going to have some more free time coming up, maybe we can start playing around with fat bombs on my page. So if there's a fat bomb you would like to see that I can feature in my keto kitchen, feel free to comment and share it here, and I'll come back through and I'll save those ideas and those recipes. So yeah, I can definitely send you, feel free to reach out to me, Yolanda, send me a message or I'll send you one. I would love to help anyone that has some keto questions and wants to get started. So Ashley also said that she wants to get started back up on her keto lifestyle. So I'll answer that question real quick before we move on with my topic here. I think that's a great question. I've got a great video on my page that's kind of similar. It's called something, it says like, I cheated, now what? So you're looking to like reset and get back into the groove. I find that it's like you just want to get back to basics. So for me, when I started on my journey, I find a lot of people get overwhelmed in the very beginning because they dive right in. they stop eating sugar all of a sudden. They're trying to limit to 20 grams of carbs. They're trying to eat more protein, and then they're trying to get up over 100 grams of fats. And then, oh yeah, they want to intermittent fast too. So then they're going to fast for 16 hours a day. And guess what happens? People get violently ill. You know, some people get the keto flu, and it's like a complete culture shock to your body. You know, your body is used to running off of carbs and sugar, and when you just immediately stop like that, there are kind of like your body's almost learning how to switch gears. Your body is a beautiful dynamic system, so you have to give it some time to recuperate. So if you were in a slump and you're getting ready to restart, make sure you do so slowly. Be gentle with yourself and be kind. And you know, I get so many messages and people say, you know, I'm keto and I'm a week in and I haven't lost any weight. Well, that's okay, you know, because it's going to take some time, you know, to kind of reset yourself. Have a great night, Annette. Thanks for jumping on with us tonight. I appreciate it. So start slow. Get back into focusing on your carbs first. I know for me, what really worked for me was learning to get under 20 grams of carbs again. You know, your carbs add up really quickly. So start with focusing on that first. Start to, you know, if you need to, go back to your favorite keto tracking app and start plugging your foods in and start to make better choices. You know, if you can make one better choice a day, and then build upon that. So, you know, if you're having that craving today, like I was talking about earlier, for a Reese's peanut butter cup, and you don't give in, that's one better choice that you made. And then you can build upon that the next day. So just kind of keep going with it. So focus on staying under 20 grams of carbs. Once that's easy, then move on to the next step. Okay, you're working on getting more protein. Okay, now that's easy. Start to work on more healthy fats. And then, of course, during this whole process, get your water in. Make sure you're having your electrolytes and your pink Himalayan salt. So all of these back to basics will really help you jumpstart your journey and do so more successfully. If you jump all right in, sometimes that's not as successful. So, and the other biggest piece of advice I would say to you is, when you make a mistake, don't run with it. You know, if you make a small mistake and you eat something that you're not supposed to, don't go on a binge fast. I'm guilty of that. I was the worst. I could justify anything. So like, if I ate bad on Friday, I would be like, well, might as well enjoy the weekend now. And I would just have this giant binge fest from Friday through Sunday. And then I would restart on Monday, which would be very painful because then you get sick. So I have to make sure that when I make a mistake, I'm kind and I'm gentle to myself, but then I don't keep it going. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm all about balance too. So hopefully that helps those two questions that just came up, you guys. So this is a really great question, and this might be my last one here that I have here, unless we have any other good ones. So Dorothy asked me today, is there something wrong when you measure only slightly keto on those urine strips when you know dang well you haven't ingested any carbs in days? So how many of you guys can feel the frustration of testing and not getting the results that you really want? If you felt that way before, go ahead and comment test below. I'd be curious to know how many of you guys are testing your ketones and like really involved in your ketosis and in your health journey. I personally never felt the compulsion to test myself, so I don't know what that disappointment feels like, but I can sure imagine, you know, just in other situations, you know, sometimes, you know, like my first month, I was very blessed. I lost a lot of weight my first month on keto, but I know sometimes people go a long time and they're not seeing the results, but then the fat whoosh happens and then they drop the weight very suddenly. It's just, you have to stay patient and diligent and stick with it. So I see a bunch of test comments. So a bunch of you are involved in testing, which I think is super cool. So I give you lots of kudos for being really dedicated to your health journey and sticking with it. So let's talk about the urine strips, and I can only do like a really basic overview about this because I'm not super versed on it and I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything. So if you have more questions, you know, I would just kind of go to maybe your doctor or Google and get some more of the science. But basically, I always tell people that I work with that urine strips are actually not accurate. So if you're not testing successfully on your urine strips, don't even worry about it, girl. brush it off, keep it moving. I would not lose sleep over that ish there because it's really not accurate. So here's why. In the beginning, as your body is starting to learn to become keto adapted, your body is expelling ketones because it's not able to use them all, if that makes sense. Hey Luna, welcome. So in the beginning, your body is used to using carbohydrates, sugar, and glucose as a source of fuel. So as you start to switch that over and use ketones as a source of fuel in your body and using fat as a source of fuel, your body will not be able to absorb all of those the good fats and the ketones in your body in the very beginning, so you will expel some of them. So that's why in the beginning, when you test on the ketone strips, you may actually get some ketones that are being picked up on there, but it's not 100% accurate, because once your body becomes a fat burning machine and you are just like on fire and you are in a true ketosis, your body doesn't actually expel them anymore. So does that make sense, you guys? Hopefully I did a good job breaking that down, because I find that to be a little bit hard to understand. That's why I actually never bother testing. And I'm like, well, if it's not accurate anyway, why bother, right? So in the beginning, your body will not be able to use all of the ketones, so you will test positive. But once you get into a true ketosis and you're a fat burning machine, your body uses all the ketones, it holds on to them. So that's why when you test your strip and you know your diet's been on point and you're not cheating and you're not having sugar and you're not having a lot of carbs, that's why it looks like it's not accurate. So if that makes sense, give me some thumbs up below. I would love to know if I did a good job with that, because I find that's like a really hard thing to explain. So if you guys are interested in testing, the best way to test is to use actually a blood test. So you want to do the strips with the blood meter. I am not that dedicated, so I'm not going to go through all of that. I do not like those pinpricks and the way that feels. My stepmother was actually a type 2 diabetic, and I watched her struggle growing up as a child, so that's not something that I would ever want to do for myself, but I do really respect people that want to test, and I think that's a really beautiful thing. So if you're going to invest in testing, definitely need to do the blood meter, because you actually want to see the ketones that are present in your blood that your body is actually using, and that's the only accurate way to test. So hopefully that helps out some of you that are interested. So the other thing is too, like, I'm not too worried about testing for my ketosis or my ketones, whatever it is you call it, because I can kind of feel when I'm in ketosis. All right, can anybody relate? If you can, go ahead and give me some hearts below. But I actually recognize what it feels like to be in ketosis. It's high energy. It's amazing clarity of mind. You feel awake, alert, alive, high vibration, and I'm definitely less hungry. So when my diet is on point and I'm doing all of the right things, I really feel the ketosis. I do. I can kind of recognize that. So when I go off kilter and I make a mistake or I take a break from it, you know, I definitely feel the down of being in the carb lifestyle again. You know, I do take breaks from my keto lifestyle every now and again, just because I think I'm one of these people, I believe in balance in life. So in the beginning, I think it's important to be more strict and really stick to it. But once you've developed those really good behaviors, you may find that you can take some flexibility and take breaks here and there. So yeah, I definitely recognize what ketosis feels like. So in the beginning, when you don't know what that feels like, it can be a little bit different. It can be difficult, you know, because you just don't know what it's going to be like. So, and I do have a trick that I use to get into ketosis quicker and faster and be more sustainable. So if you guys are interested in my keto trick, you can just comment trick below and I'll make sure I circle back around and get you some information. So the last question that I had from my page today is a really easy one. And then if you guys have any other keto questions that you want to ask me real quick, feel free to leave them right now and I'll go through any I can before we go tonight. But Renee asked me, do you have any plans to do Instapot recipes on your page? And I do. I haven't done them yet because I don't have an Instapot. I have my eye on the one by the Pioneer Woman. So she's got some really beautiful Instapots that have, like, you know, they're cute. I like cute things, you guys. So normally if I'm going to invest in something special, an appliance or something like that, I want it to be special. So I'm thinking about investing in one. So if you guys are Instapot lovers, I would love to know what some of your favorite things are about your Instapot. And I have a crock pot now, and I do a lot of crock pot recipes on my page, and I was kind of slow into converting to the Instapot, I'll be honest, because I liked the convenience of prepping everything in my crock pot the night before and then letting it run for 8 to 10 hours all day while I'm at work. So I kind of felt like it would be more work to come home, prep everything, and then throw it in the Instapot for an hour. I don't know. Am I being silly about this? I would love to know what you guys think. Give me your thoughts below. I just kind of had a hard time wrapping my brain around the whole Instapot thing. I'm sure it's fantastic, and I just need to get one and play around with it. So yeah, so I'm seeing all the trick comments, so that's awesome. Yeah, if you want to know what my keto trick is, comment trick and I'll get you some information. Oh, I love Annette said trick or treat. That's perfect for the season. I love it. So I'm just scrolling up to see if I missed any questions. So I'm glad to hear that Linda, she said her husband got her started on keto, and that you guys are doing, you're doing a carb cycle once a week, and it helps you lose weight faster. So I would say I'm glad that's working for you and it's really successful. I did play around with carb cycling a little bit. I think once a week is too often. I would say if you want to do a carb cycle, I would keep it to once every 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks is actually better. But when you do it too often, it takes a few days to get back into ketosis, depending on how strict you are with your diet. So if you're doing it once a week, you may not be getting enough time in fat burn. So I would just say, monitor once a week closely, but every 3 weeks for sure, I think you can carb cycle. And I find that when I do carb up a little bit, after I go back to keto, I have a fat whoosh. It just goes, whew, I lose like 4 or 5 pounds. It's fantastic. So Shilpa said she's getting an Instapot soon. Yeah, keep me posted, sister. I would love to hear what you think about your Instapot. So let's see here. I have another question here. Share how you feel better during that time of the month on your keto journey. Okay, so that is a tough question, girl, and I don't know if I have too many tips or tricks for that. I do a lot of water because I feel very bloated when it's my time on my cycle, so I really retain the water. So I just make sure I really up my water. I try and invest in some water with added electrolytes because that really helps, and I actually think I have it here. Oh, cool. I had this here from the last time I did my live video, and I forgot to bring it back in the kitchen. But when I do water, I like to get this really fine pink Himalayan salt. So I have the kind in my crusher, my salt crusher that I cook with. But I invested in this really, really fine salt. So you see how this is actually pink Himalayan salt, but it's super fine. So this is full of minerals, and it's so good for you just in general on your keto journey. But when I'm going through my cycle and I'm feeling really bloated and I'm feeling like gross and retaining that water, I try and make sure I'm really on my water game. You want to make sure you're drinking at least half your body's weight in ounces of water. So for me, typically my water goal is at least 80 ounces. And then I'm sprinkling in some of the pink Himalayan salt in my water as well. And I find that really just helps replenish my body as I'm losing, nutrients and minerals and things like that. You're putting back in between the electrolyte water and the pink Himalayan salt. And I find that really helps. I really struggle with sugar cravings during my cycle. So I try and make sure I have healthy keto treats that are going to help with that. So like sometimes I will splurge. I don't think I have it here, but definitely if you have some Lily's dark chocolate, I find that is such a lifesaver. I love the Lily's dark chocolate with the sea salt and the almonds. It makes my mouth water just thinking about it. It's spectacular. So keep it minimal, okay? Because if you have too much of that type of thing, it can kind of trick your body and kick you out of ketosis. But I do like to have those healthy options around. Also, dark chocolate is super high in fat. So if you have a square or two, you're upping your healthy fat game. And when I'm eating more fats on my cycle, I feel like it helps just balance me. I don't know. So those are really basic keto tips and tricks, but I find that they do help me during that time and, help me kind of stay on track for sure. And sometimes, I think your body just tells you that you need a little bit more sleep. Also, one thing I noticed during my cycle is that usually I'm not hungry for breakfast, but I find that when I'm on my cycle, my body will often tell me you need to eat a nice healthy fat breakfast. I find that I need some eggs and cheese and bacon and some sliced avocado and those types of things. So I just kind of listen to my body and let it tell me what it needs. That's why I enjoy the 60-hour fast that I do every month, because when I kind of focus on stepping back like that, I don't know, it just teaches me to kind of listen to what my body is telling me. And sometimes we're so off track, eating becomes such a habit and such a like thoughtless process. So sometimes it's good to have those times of reflection and kind of get back to basics, right? Thank you so much for the love, Shilpa. You're one of my favorite followers on my page here. Love you, sister. So are strawberries with sugar-free Cool Whip okay for sugar cravings? That's a great question, Angela. So yeah, and I do the 60-hour cleanse every month. So if you guys are interested, you just can comment 60 below and I can get you some more information. But you can, you know what, I've never played around with that. Here's why. And I know a lot of people do it very successfully. So if you enjoy using the sugar-free Cool Whip, like Angela talks about, feel free to share your experience here. I would love to hear about it. I'm careful with the sugar-free stuff that I use, you guys. When I was younger, like I said, my stepmother was a type 2 diabetic, so we had a lot of sugar-free stuff in my home. And especially back in that time during the 90s, it was very fad to be fat-free everything. So I just had so many years of ingesting chemicals, all of the diet products, all of the aspartame and all of the bad things. Like, we know how bad this stuff is for you now, you guys. So I kind of just like try and stay away from that because, I want to keep my body. I'm trying to do better by my body now. I've been abusing it for a little bit too long. So I personally try and stay away from the sugar-free stuff. The other thing is, and I did a great video about, I think it's called like the hidden sugars or something like that. It's a really great video. And during that video, I talk about the danger of sugar-free stuff because a lot of them, even though they're sugar-free, they will spike your blood level and it will break your ketosis. So even if you're doing all of the right things, if you have something like maybe with Splenda in it, which has, I think, like some kind of a potato starch or something in it, it could potentially break your ketosis, and it undoes all of your hard work, even though it's sugar-free. So because in the beginning I was really focused on wanting to stay in ketosis, I tried to not do some of these sugar-free options. So, but I have done some. I like to use Swerve as a sugar, as an approved keto-friendly sugar. So I've done like recipes on my page for keto snickerdoodles. I've also done keto chocolate chip cookies. So there's lots of easy recipes that you can do that would be really great for you as well. So yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe take out the sugar-free and just do a heavy whipping cream. So that sounds delicious. Thanks for sharing, Jen. I so appreciate it. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. This was a dynamic video. You guys were really participative, so I thank you all so much for sticking with me and chit-chatting with me tonight. So hopefully you had a great time. Make sure you go ahead and send me a friend request and hit follow if we're not connected yet. And if you had a great time tonight, go ahead and give this video a quick share. I so appreciate your love and support. So we should be cooking tomorrow on my page. So make sure you swing back around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow and we will have a great keto kitchen recipe. So thank you all. Have a great night and I'll be back to chat with you guys again soon. Take care.